but we got to have a conversation first. And the conversation is, what A'ja Wilson just did was unprecedented.
You thought A.A. Wilson was a victim here. Didn't you? Well, get ready for a shocker, because we're about to expose the truth behind this whole mess. And it's not what you think. For 2 years, Wilson knew she had a signature shoe coming. But instead of shutting down the hate against Caitlin Clark, she let it grow. Now we're going to show you exactly how Wilson played us all and why her reputation might never recover.
Like, that's the thing. She threw out the whole privilege card. She played the race card, like. And I don't like saying that. But it's a fact.
You see what A.A. Wilson just admitted? She kept a massive secret for 2 whole years. Can you believe it? This bombshell has got everyone talking, and it's shaking up the WNBA in ways we never saw coming.
And it is confirmation that A'ja Wilson, who was at the time, prior to Caitlin Clark, the face of the WNBA, sent an angry mob towards a 22-year-old, and knew exactly what she was doing.
Let's break down how this all started. Remember, when Caitlin Clark's shoe deal was announced, Wilson fired off some cryptic tweets that had everyone scratching their head. She wrote, "What's delayed is not denied," and people thought she was just throwing shade. But here's where it gets really interesting. Wilson knew about her own shoe deal the entire time. Yeah, you heard that right. She had a signature shoe in the works for 2 years and didn't say a word.
A'ja Wilson had to keep her Nike signature shoe secret from her parents for almost 2 years. She showed them the A1 the day before the official reveal in their site.
You might be thinking, why didn't she say anything? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Wilson claims she had to keep it under wraps. But come on, 2 years is a long time to play the victim card when you're sitting on a golden ticket. It's like she was playing 4D chess while everyone else was playing checkers.
The key takeaway here is she kept it a secret for almost 2 years, while watching all of the backlash, all outrage, all of it.
Now, let's look at the timeline of events leading up to this bombshell revelation. Clark's deal drops, and suddenly Wilson's out here eating like she's been left in the dust. But all along, she's got her own deal cooking. It's wild to think about how she managed to keep a straight face through all of this.
And a lot of people thought, oh, she was posting that in order to get a signature shoe, because it did get pushed a few weeks later. Not only was that not true, she is confirmed she had to keep it secret for almost 2 years. So for almost 2 years, she knew about this.
You might be wondering, how did Wilson manage to keep this under wraps for so long? I mean, we're talking about a superstar player in the prime of her career. You'd think someone would have caught wind of it. But nope, Wilson played it cool even as the controversy around Clark's deal heated up.
I mean, my God, the mainstream media, woke WNBA fans, they lost their minds. They went nuts. All right? Man, they were berating fans, you name it, going after Caitlin, all the white and the blah and the blah.
But here's the kicker. Wilson's silence fueled a firestorm of criticism against Clark. While Clark was getting torched by fans, Wilson just sat back and watched. She could have stepped in and told everyone to chill out, but she didn't. Instead, she let the hate pile up, all while knowing she had her own shoe coming.
And if you say, oh, she's an NDA, there is nobody, and I mean no NDA, that makes it so that you have to pretend, you have to play victim and pretend you don't have a shoe when you have one coming. You have to stay silent. You don't have to. Especially when you saw what was happening.
We could dive into the detail of Wilson's deal and how it compares to Clark's, but honestly at this point, does it even matter? The damage is done. Wilson's reputation is taking a serious hit, and people are starting to question everything she said and done over the past 2 years.
The A'ja Wilson persona has done a lot of, has done one absolutely horrible thing, borderline unforgivable thing towards a 22-year-old, and now she basically just admitted that she did it. It's not the greatest look in the world.
Wait, there's more. Some folks are saying Wilson's actions could be seen as race baiting. They're saying she played the victim card, while knowing full well she had a lucrative deal in her pocket. It's a serious accusation, and it's got people looking at Wilson in a whole new light.
A'ja Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
Let's be real for a second. Wilson's an elite player, no doubt about it. But on a human level, this is a bad look. She let a rookie take the heat while she sat on a secret that could have changed the whole conversation. It's like she was playing both sides, and now it's all blowing up in her face.
I'm going to tell you, Asia Wilson is getting dragged to hell. And I mean it.
Remember when Wilson was the golden girl of the WNBA? Well, that image just got shattered faster than a backboard on a monster dunk. We're talking a complete 180 from hero to villain in the blink of an eye. And let me tell you, the fallout is intense. And I'm going to tell you.
I mean, people are literally like, oh, no, you did not let all of that go down. She sat back and watched all that outrage and just let it happen, by the way. Let it happen.
So what happened as soon as Wilson's secret got out? Social media exploded. Fans who once worshipped her are now tearing her apart. They're furious. And can you blame them? Wilson played the victim card. While sitting on a secret shoe deal, it's like she was playing both sides, and now it's all blowing up in her face.
You saw that every single thing, you saw that all of this was just generating hate towards a 22-year-old, who, by the way, had never played a game at this stage. She was a 22-year-old who never played a game. A 22-year-old. You are nearly 30 years old. You're nearly 30 years old. Knowingly sending an angry mob towards and a 22-year-old player is awful.
Let's take a look at some of the harshest reactions. One fan didn't hold back, saying Wilson poured gasoline on the flame and made it 100 times worse than it could have been. Ouch, that's got to sting. But it gets even worse. Some people are throwing around words like race baiting, saying Wilson's actions sparked a race war in the WNBA. That's some serious stuff, right?
By the way, the hate train might have happened anyway. But it quadrupled, like, with her pretending that it was like she had been slighted and all this. And you could argue maybe she was slighted by Sabrina getting one before. But doesn't give you an excuse to take it out on a 22-year-old.
Now, you might be wondering, how's Wilson handling all this heat? Well, here's the kicker. She's not saying much. That's right in the face of all this backlash. Wilson's keeping quiet, no formal statement, no explanation, nothing. And you know what they say, silence speaks volumes. It's like she's hiding from the storm she created. And that's not sitting well with fans or commentators.
Like, it was just objectively wrong. On a human level, fuck basketball at this stage. On a human level, this is wrong. So she knew she was getting a shoe for 2 years, still pretend like she wasn't when they announced 22 shoe, leading to the hate train against a rookie for no reason.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The WNBA community is split right down the middle. On one side, you've got people defending Wilson's talent. They're saying, yes, she messed up, but she's still an amazing player. On the other side, you've got folks who are done with her. They're saying her actions are inexcusable no matter how good she is on the court.
So it doesn't take a rocket science to see that Nike, before all this happened, posted a future signature shoe, like kind of futuristic AI thing. Like, did all of that. And Asia Wilson's name was there.
This divide is causing some serious drama. Players, fans, commentators. Everyone's got an opinion. It's like a basketball civil war out there. People are arguing about what it means to be a role model, about the responsibilities that come with being a star player. It's not just about Wilson anymore. It's about the whole culture of the WNBA.
Let's not forget some of the other crap Asia Wilson said throughout the year about Caitlin Clark. Like, about Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark fans and new fans. Like, that's just... the fact that, like, everybody speculated that she already knew, and now she's admitted she already knew. It's a horrible look from Asia.
And speaking of the WNBA, this mess is hitting the league where it hurts in the ratings. That's right, all this drama is affecting viewership. And engagement. Fans are tuning out disgusted by what's going down. Some people are saying this could be a real problem for the league going forward. I mean, when fans lose trust in the players, that's bad news for everyone.
Get this right. Caitlin Clark dealt with all the crap. You watch the mainstream media go full racial. It was a full-on conspiracy because Asia Wilson was black and she had not gotten a signature shoe. And it turns out it was all a bunch of nonsense.
Now, can you believe how Caitlin Clark got caught in the crossfire of all this drama? Let's break down the intense criticism Clark faced. When her deal was announced, it was like a tidal wave of hate coming at her from all directions. Wilson fans were out for blood, and Clark was right in their sights.
Asia Wilson never came out and was like, hey, let's calm this drama. There's no reason for this. Let's tamper this down. Not everybody has a full story. Yada, yada. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember any of that happening, which tells me she's more than happy playing the victim. She's more than happy playing the victim.
You might be thinking, why didn't someone step in and stop this? Well, here's where it gets really messed up. Wilson could have put an end to it all, but she chose to stay silent. Why? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
And they was mad as all kinds of new hell because Caitlin Clark got her a signature shoe, which, by the way, Nike has set on themselves.
Now let's look at some of the worst attacks Clark endured from Wilson's fans. It wasn't just your run-of-the-mill trash talk. We're talking about people accusing her of only getting attention. Because she's white, can you believe that they were labeling her as undeserving of the deal all because of her race? It's like they forgot about her incredible skills on the court.
There's no way she could have stopped all the hate towards Caitlin. I'm not expecting she's not a miracle worker. She's not a miracle worker. Just like Caitlin Clark's not responsible for hate towards everyone else, A'ja Wilson is not responsible for hate towards Caitlin Clark. Except for the fact she poured gas on the fire. She poured freaking gasoline on the fire and made it 100 times worse than it could have been.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark was just a rookie caught in the middle of this firestorm. She didn't ask for any of this. Imagine being 22 years old, fresh out of college, and suddenly you're at the center of this huge controversy. It's enough to make anyone crack under pressure.
Is tweeting the second Clark's deal got announced, what's delayed is not denied, and then made this whole thing about, then started posting about how basically people of color will never get these opportunities.
Now you might be wondering, how is Clark handling all of this newfound support? Well, here's the thing. She hasn't said a word. Not a peep. Her team's been quiet too, but sometimes silence speaks louder than words, doesn't it? By keeping her cool and staying professional, Clark's letting her game do the talking.
You know what you can do if you can't tell anybody? You can call your freaking rep at Nike if you're a decent person and go, yo, we have to announce this. You know the way, 10 days later, when she announced the, of course I have a, not even 10 days, was it 2 weeks later? She announced the, of course, I have a shoe. She announced the whole, of course I have a shoe, .com was the whole thing.
The tables have turned, with many now praising Clark for staying above the fray. People are looking at her like she's some kind of unbreakable warrior. She took all that heat, all those nasty comments, and she didn't let it break her. That's pretty impressive, don't you think?
A'ja Wilson seemingly was pissed at that Caitlin Clark got her shoe deal too. She was pissed that she got the shoe deal. Evidently by the tweets. I could be wrong, but based on her tweets, that is the opinion that I have. Based solely off her tweets. Again, I'm not saying it for a fact, but that is what I would think has happened.
Here's where it gets really wild. This whole mess might actually boost Clark's popularity. Even more, can you believe it? All those people who were trashing her before, they're eating their words now. And the fans who were on the fence, they're starting to see Clark in a whole new light.
You know what you can do? Not tweet anything! Dude, no, don't pour gasoline on the flame. And that's what she did. She poured gasoline on the flame, and they attacked the 22-year-old. And then she continued to tweet pouring gasoline on the flame, knowing she had a shoe for a year in advance.
It's like Clark's gone from being the punching bag to the people's champ overnight. And she didn't have to say a single word to make it happen. That's some next-level PR magic. Right there, people are calling her an underdog who rose above the negativity. It's like a real-life Rocky story, but with basketballs instead of boxing gloves.
They're not marketing her correctly on purpose. Why? Because they're scared of the original WNBA fans, which are a bunch of damn activists. They're scared of them. Then why did you sign her? Why did you sign her, Nike?
So what does this mean for Clark's future? Well, some experts are saying this could be a golden opportunity for her. More endorsements, more fans, more everything. It's like she's turned this whole mess into marketing gold. Not bad for a rookie, huh?
Oh, you've got a situation where she said she's known over 2 years, and 2 weeks later, the of course I have a shoe.com was released with all of her things. Why not just call up Nike, and instead of playing the freaking victim, all you have to do is call up Nike, your Nike reps, get your agent to say it and be like, look, can I do this? Can we wait a few seconds, a few days, and can we announce that I'm getting a shoe? Because everyone is, it's a hot topic, me getting a shoe right now. And because of this hot topic, they're like attacking a 22-year-old.
Wow, can you believe how quickly things can change in the world of sports? One day you're on top, and the next you're in the middle of a storm that's shaking up the entire league. This A.A. Wilson situation is wild, and it's got everyone talking. But here's where it gets really interesting. Experts are saying this could have some serious consequences for women's basketball as a whole.